Welcome and welcome back. Day 8 of the league, and today we got the auto farming relic overgrown as the reveal. So let's take a look. Hopefully don't sound too nasally. Here is the relic breakdown. It is going to allow you to access the seed vault from anywhere. Crops never die. When you're planting a seed, there's a 75% chance that you don't even use it. All of that is great, but I think the part that really is going to sell this relic for a lot of people is when something is fully grown and you have another seed in your seed vault for it, it will harvest whatever that thing is and then replant it. So this is essentially entirely AFK farming. Now, it doesn't do this while you're offline, so you can't like take this relic and then never touch the league again and come back with like 200 mil farming. You do have to be online for it to cycle through the patches. Couple other caveats with it. It is using Ultra Compost by default on your patches, which are going to help with your yields. So like more herbs, more secondaries, everything like that. The crops can't die, so you're not really worried about that part of it. And this relic is not going to roll for the pet, sadly. So you do not get a free Tangle Root by taking this. Now, I am someone who absolutely hates doing farm runs, so I am quite excited about this. We'll talk about what it's going to be up against here in a minute, but as someone who did not take the farming relic in the last league, I didn't end up maxing farming, and I think you really can't undersell the value of just essentially like infinite herbs, infinite farming XP, infinite secondaries, things like that. So it's going to be a really nice pickup. Now, I think everybody can really get some benefit from this. I wanted to put every single patch that you've got in the starting area just so that you can kind of see. A lot of them are trees, and I don't know that trees are like the best use case for this particular relic, but you can store saplings in your seed vault, so you could get passive tree runs. And again, I don't think that's like the best strength of this relic. It's going to work, I think, a lot better once you're doing something like an herb patch. But you do also get a couple of other patches, like you've got the hops patch, the bush patch, as well as the belladonna patch. So even if you had absolutely no other farming patches, it will still help you get passively to 99 farming, if nothing else. But I think really where the strength is going to come in is by at least having one of each of these patches. So you've got like the herb patch, the flower patch, and the allotment patch. And essentially what this is going to do is it's just going to allow you to passively build up a lot of herbs and a lot of secondaries. So that way you're not only getting 99 farming plus the XP milestone tasks, you'll also be building up towards 99 herb lore. Now, a lot of the regions, they already have the sort of like typical farming patch, which has 1 herb, 1 flower, 2 allotment. So I think most paths that people are going to go, you're probably going to have that available to you. But just in case you're doing something a little bit weird like Wilderness, Taranwin, Fremnik for the whole crystal warrior thing going on, you will still have enough coverage that you'll be able to use this relic. Granted that it is stronger the more patches that you have, but considering the league is 8 weeks, if we get this fairly early on, even if you only have one, you're probably gonna be okay. Now, I don't want to go into absolutely every patch in every area because I just don't think that's that necessary. I think once you kind of get that general coverage from the herb patch, the flower patch, and an allotment patch, you're pretty much good. But I did want to shout out Kourend specifically, and Kourend is a little bit of a weird one because you already have like so much going on for farming. So you do get a lot of patches because you get the farming guild, plus you also get kind of like the standard farming allotment patch sort of deal near Hosidius. But also you have things like Tithe Farm to train your farming. So I don't know that this is going to hold a lot of value for someone in Kourend. You've got things like Hispori. You've also got farming contracts, which aren't going to interact with the sort of like auto farm type of deal. So I actually think if you're trying to do farming contracts, the auto farming is a little bit of a pain in the butt because you have to make sure that you don't have those seeds in your seed vault. Otherwise, it's going to auto harvest that plant and then you're not going to be able to complete your contract. So kind of a pain in the butt. I'm a little bit on the fence on whether or not you would really want to take this for Kourend. And I think part of this comes down to the relics that you are choosing between. So they revealed that this is going to be up against the Arcane Grimoire, which is the thing that allows you to get all of the prayers and all of the spell books, regardless of your region choices. And specifically for Kourend, I don't know that Kourend gets a lot of value out of either of these two since you're already going to be getting so much of that stuff. So if you're a Kourend enjoyer, you might have to wait and see what this third relic is. Right now, no clue, though I kind of suspect we might see the Slayer relic end up in here. We'll have to see though. But between these two, I think it is very much going to depend on your region choices. Because if you've already got Ancients, or you've already got the Prayers, or both, then the farming relic starts to look a whole lot better. And again, passive farming is like such a strong benefit. You cannot undersell the ability to just like slowly build up herbs and secondaries and just straight up take care of your herb lore skill. Plus the fact that your crops aren't gonna die, that is just gonna help all that much more. So it's really gonna depend on the region choices. And it's also probably gonna depend on this last relic. If it's a Slayer relic, I think it's gonna become a really difficult choice for a lot of people. Could end up being something else here. You never know. Maybe they won't do a Slayer relic this year, but it's between these two already. For myself, personally, I think the farming one is probably gonna be my favorite choice of this bunch, just because I really hate doing farm runs. And if you hate doing farm runs too, you're probably going to be right there with me. It's almost like, you know, screw it. I don't need vengeance every time I want to go and kill a monster. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I think the Grimoire strength is mostly in the fact of getting Ancients without the desert. Yeah, the Prayers are good. The Prayers do give you extra damage, but I think in leagues you're already so strong that it's not that big of a deal either. But Ancients is probably the deciding factor when I'm looking at the Grimoire relic, because if you don't take the desert, but you still want to do some sort of Ancient build, then you're probably going to want to lean towards this. But man, I'm telling you, having endless supplies for herbs and the secondaries, you don't have to worry about potions anymore. You don't have to worry about training your herb lore up. All that is essentially taken care of. I don't know, man. I mean, I really like the farming relic. And again, I didn't take it last year and it was sad. It was a sad time, man. Let me tell you, what a pain in the butt to get enough herbs together to actually train herb lore up. But here is what we are looking like on the full relic breakdown so far. I did go ahead and swap these two around. While I'm not a big proponent of the crack theory, you can see they've got like some cracks running through each of these relics. I don't know, when I look at them all, it's starting to make a little bit more sense, really. But I could see either of these tiers kind of switching around, but man, boy, isn't that tempting? Look at this, 5, 5, 4, I don't know, man. But that is all I have for you today. If you want to see more Leagues content, make sure to subscribe. I have got my Discord linked in the description down below if you want to join that, and I am going to be streaming the start of the league. The league starts on November 27th at 6 a.m. Central. I'm going to be starting my stream a couple hours after at 9 a.m. Central. So if you want to join me in my league's journey, hang out, have a good time, you can find me here. But with that, thanks for watching, and I will catch you tomorrow.